Hi, this is Bill with Dine Drink Vegas. I'm here at 8 East, a restaurant inside Circa, Las Vegas, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite places to eat downtown and, for that matter, in the city. To get here, you go into the Circa Hotel, go into the casino, and come up to the second floor. You're absolutely going to want to make reservations because it's been quite crowded. You can probably squeeze 1 or 2 people into the bar, but I wouldn't be able to count on that. We're here on a Monday night, a low traffic time, and still most of the tables are taken up. The seating area is huge, but the kitchen area is open, and I love being able to watch the chefs do the thing they do. They don't have an enormous bar, but we've had several of their cocktails already, and the cocktails have been fantastic. This restaurant specializes in dim sum, and we've had several dishes which have been fantastic. They also have a wide range of wine offerings and selections. And now I'm going to sit down, and in just a minute I will come back and tell you about all the excellent things we've had to eat. If you're a longtime fan of Dine Drink Vegas, you know that one of the things we never do is make you watch us eat. We do that for a lot of reasons. One, just nobody wants to see that. 2, we think you get better pictures of the food and idea of what we actually had by doing these static photos. And it seems to be what a lot of y'all are responsive to. So what I want to do now is show you some of our highlight dishes. And one of the things we got was the fried rice. You may think that it's a little bit weird that I'm starting with a picture of a side order like this, but part of that's because of how the restaurant structured the meal. Now, part of that is our fault, right? Like we ordered random things in random order. But yeah, it just kind of came out when it came out. So if there's something that you want in a particular order, make sure and communicate that to your server, and he or she will be happy to help you out. The fried rice was incredibly rich and fragrant. It was, if you're thinking the kind of fried rice you get off of your local Chinese food buffet, this isn't it. It had a flavor and was absolutely worth eating in its own right. You can get it with a meat or a protein in it and make it its own proper entree. We elected to get it as a side order to share around the table. One of the other side orders that we got was the popcorn chicken skin. And we should have told our waiter to bring this to us earlier because that was absolutely an appetizer dish. And it was rich and it was decadent. It was fried chicken skin, right? So if you've got heart health concerns, this is probably not the dish for you. But it tasted amazing. It was a really easy thing to share amongst a group of friends. We enjoyed the popcorn chicken skin as part of our meal. We also got the 8 East ramen. I actually enjoyed the 8 East ramen as my proper entree. Now, that's one of the only things we got that we couldn't share, and that makes sense. It's soup. It's not that you couldn't share it. It's just that that's not what the ramen was set up to do, right? But if you want to eat your own entree without somebody else eating off your plate, that would be the way to go. It tasted great. It was a little different from ramen. Like the broth had more of a consistency of a traditional, I think almost a beef broth. But it was an incredibly rich soup. I enjoyed it. I would absolutely order it again. It might have been my favorite thing that I ate. It was just a little bit different than most of the ramens that I've had before. We also tried, and this is very much in the notion of an appetizer or a sharing plate, the Misubi Bites. The Misubi Bites were, in effect, a Spam sushi. Now, again, if you're thinking just kind of the random sushi that you get at whatever your restaurant is at home, this isn't it. The rice was better. The flavorings and the seasonings were better. There were flavorings and seasoning, right? It wasn't just seaweed and rice wrapped around a piece of Spam. There were several other things to it, which made it, I thought, incredibly flavorful. It was also really easy to share. The rice was something called furikake rice. They had a sesame aioli on top, which I don't normally like. They had a shoyu glaze. It was a great dish, and it was absolutely something that I enjoyed. Probably our least successful dish of the night was the Carpaccio. And please don't hear me saying that the Carpaccio was bad. The Carpaccio was very, very good. The problem was, and you can see in this picture here, it was overdone. It's Carpaccio. It's normally served raw or perhaps seared a bit so that it's prepared rare. That's not what we got here. Now, I actually enjoyed the salad that came on top because we were eating so many heavy things with this meal that a little bit of greenery to break it up was a good thing. I'm glad we did it. I'd order it again, but if you're specifically in the mood for Carpaccio, I go somewhere else in Vegas. I go downstairs to Barry's Downtown Prime. I would amazingly go to this restaurant again. I would just probably focus on some of their other options for this. So, would we go back to 8 East in the Circa Las Vegas? Yeah, absolutely. Circa is doing, I think, the best job in downtown Vegas of having a lot of really good high-end restaurant options. This may have been our favorite meal of the trip, and we were there for 4 days. We'd also gone to Barry's Downtown Prime, which is in the same building. I was staying next door at the Golden Nugget, ate at a couple places there. We went down to the Plaza once. We ate at, I think, the Cafe at Binion's. We ate all up and down the Fremont Street experience. Circa does a good job, and this is probably my favorite restaurant in Circa. When you walk in there, make sure that you have reservations. Think through what cocktails you want, knowing that a lot of the cocktails are probably going to be kind of sweet. So, I would plan that out. And think of it as a place to share plates. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, I would love it if you would hit like and subscribe. I would love it if you would visit us on our blog, which instead of being Dine Drink Vegas, is dinedrinktravel.com. You can also find our Facebook page and our Twitter page and our Instagram page at Dine Drink Travel. Thanks so much and happy travels.